Well, it was a picture-perfect day for the 38th running of the New York City Marathon. Clear skies, temperatures in the mid-50s, and it was a two-man race to the finish. Kenya's Martin Lel and Morocco's Abdourahim Goumri were stride for stride as they entered Central Park, but then Lel just kicked it into another gear. He won this marathon going away in 2 hours, 9 minutes and 4 seconds, 12 seconds ahead of Goumri to capture his second New York City Marathon. The women's race was just as exciting. Great Britain's Paula Radcliffe won by 23 seconds. Her winning time, 2 hours, 23 minutes and 9 seconds, as she also wins for the second time, less than 9 months after giving birth to her first child. How about that? The first question I would ask, which one was more difficult? Now, somewhere in the midst of those 35,000 runners were several hundred New Jerseyans. Among those New Jerseyans, Waldwick native Andy Sansone, who was running the marathon for the first time. But as you'll see, Andy's 26.2-mile run took him down an unexpected yet inspirational path. Turning 40 normally calls for a big celebration.
Happy birthday!
Give me those lips. But in the case of Andy Sansone, who just hit the big 4-0 in October, a celebration wasn't quite big enough.
So I said to myself, let's do something special, you know? And I thought, since I wasn't a runner per se, I said to myself, let's try running the New York Marathon. That would be interesting.
Most people might say, hey, I'm going to take a vacation and go on a European cruise. You choose to run a marathon.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a little bit of a part of challenging yourself. You're turning 40 and you say to yourself, you know, where have I been? You know, what have I done? A lot of the, you know, self-reflection going on. So I think it's partly that challenge, that competitive nature. You know, I can do this. 40, that's nothing.
But running 26.2 miles wasn't the problem for the former pitcher at Waldwick High School. The problem was being accepted into a marathon. Andy was one of 98,000 people who applied to run in this year's New York City Marathon. That's 98,000 applicants for only 35,000 spots. And with no previous marathon experience, Andy was hoping he'd get selected through a lottery system.
Not a whole lot of opportunity to get in through the lottery. You have to be very lucky, and I didn't get in through the lottery. So I had to go through another avenue, which was raising money for a particular charity.
But that, too, was easier said than done.
Many of them are very large organizations like Lance Armstrong's Cancer Foundation or Michael J. Fox Parkinson's Foundation. They have hundreds of slots for the race. The one that I was accepted by, the Nicholas Rossomando Memorial Scholarship Fund, only had 20. And that's where it began. It started getting real interesting at that point.
Nicholas Rossomando was a New York City firefighter out of Rescue 5 on Staten Island, who lost his life in the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center.
The way Nick was, you know, he did things big. Everything was big, so it's only fitting that, you know, we run a marathon, you know, in his name to raise money, so he can continue helping people, which is, you know, what he's always done that, you know, his whole life.
I was a police officer years and years ago, so you know, we had that in common, that we both were in the service sector. And he also had his own business at one point, which is what I did after I left police work. So there was all these parallels that really started to get interesting.
Scary.
Scary, yeah. I would think that it starts to remind me that things do happen for a reason.
The Nicholas Rossomando Memorial Scholarship Fund is now officially in its second year of affiliation with the New York City Marathon. Andy and the other 19 runners are each expected to raise $2,500 for the fund. The first thing Andy did was to set up a website, andyruns.com, with the help of a friend. As word of the website and Andy's run began to spread, the letters and donations began to pour in.
I'm getting checks from people throughout all over the country. Here's one right here from Nashville, Tennessee. Good luck, Andy. We'll be cheering you on from Tennessee. Hope you meet your goal. We salute you. Yeah, this is my baseball coach. I think it's great that they've taken the time to send a donation, and I want to thank them personally.
And that's not all. To help raise more money on his 40th birthday, Andy was a one-night-only bartender at his favorite bar in New York City, Fred's.
It's going to be fun because I have no idea what I'm doing back here. We have the Sansone Sangria.
How about a dirty martini with extra olives?
Oh my God.
Woo! Andy raised $2,000 in tips that night, and as of race day, he had raised more than $13,000 for the scholarship fund.
Andy's an amazing person. And I only know him for a short time, about 2 or 3 months, and his effort to raise money for the fund, it's been unbelievable.
He's always done things that are a little different, a little off, a little over and above.
When you have the responsibility to raise money for a foundation like this, and I feel so super connected to this whole process, you have those days where you're not interested in money. You have those days where you're not feeling so up to doing it, but you get out and do it anyway. I think you feel most fulfilled in life when you come outside yourself a little bit and you do something outside your comfort zone. And I think people are more fulfilled when you do something you never thought you could do.
So how did Andy do in his first marathon? Not too shabby. 4 hours, 29 minutes, and 53 seconds. Way to go, Andy. He told me afterward it was the hardest thing he's ever done in his life. To find out more about Nicholas Rossomando and the fund, you can go to nick's911collegefund.org, or there's still time to donate to the fund through Andy's website at andyruns.com. Up next on the JSF, the state of Rutgers